All right, everyone, we are back down to the 0 hour. The Trump administration just greenlit a 50-year mortgage, and now we're seeing that the average homeowner right now, the median age of the U.S. home buyer starts at a record high of 61 years old. How many years do you think you've got left at 61 years old to pay off your 50-year mortgage? Are you going to make it to that 111th year? No, this is definitely a product of a complete economic collapse across the Western world. What they're going to do, and I was just talking with my brother and some of our other group members about this because we try to map out exactly what we believe is going to happen. What is the most likely course of events to take place across the USA so that we as preppers or survivalists can prepare for it? And one of the paths that we see being taken right now is that the U.S. is coveting and holding on to precious metals, minerals, and control of the entire AI data sphere. And with that, they are going to try to ride this out because as soon as the central banks realize that they have gotten every dollar from you, the people, that they possibly can, they're going to completely wash the system. The entire economy is going to collapse. The United States dollar will be worth about nothing. Now, remember, the USD already lost 11% of its purchasing power just since January of this year. So if we drop another 30, 40, 50% off of that, you're going to be charged $6,000 a month just in your electricity, in your mortgage, and in your car payment. All right, let's move on. We've got a lot, including this video here. This is the Walker S2. It's an army that looks straight out of iRobot. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen the parallel in which they tell us what they're going to do before they do it. But right now, they are building armies of robots that will use artificial intelligence to take over your job. Why do they want this? Well, because it's much easier to control if there's a lot less humans on this planet. There is an agenda out there to drop about, 7 billion humans off of the planet over the course of 50 to 100 years. Well, if they keep working us like dogs like they are right now, I think it's possible.
When the president says that grocery prices are down, what numbers is he basing that off, given that's not true, and even Marjorie Taylor Greene has acknowledged that it's not accurate?
Right. Well, I guess the question, inflation is down. It's one of those things that very often when people talk about economics, they slip derivatives, as we say. And so the point is that inflation is way down. When the
president says...
So they're getting caught right now because Trump keeps reiterating that prices are down, and they're not. I like Trump. I think that he has a lot of good heart for the American people, and I think that they are trying to control the downfall of Western society as much as they possibly can. Because a people that aren't rioting are a people that are much easier to keep soaking from. But we do live in a corruptilism industry, a world full of evil and vile actions. Now, they keep lying to you and saying grocery prices are down because they look at one metric like eggs and they say, look, Biden had it up to $7 a dozen. We're down to $3. You can thank me on your way out the door. Fuel, things like that. Yes, a couple of things are down, but you cannot continue to operate at these levels like we are right now without riots. And that's what they're trying to control. Why do you think that they are making quick reaction forces using federalized forces, the National Guard? Why are they making them ready to go into every state across our country? Do you think it's because they don't expect riots? Do you think it's because the next illegal immigrant will be an illegal truther? Do you think it's maybe the preppers, the survivalists? Who will they come after next? Or will it just be that there's so many riots and unrest across the country that they need them to control power? So he says they slip illegitimate derivatives or wrong derivatives. Basically, it's his way of saying, you don't know what I'm saying, so I'm just going to tell you you're being lied to. It's a very gaslighting kind of reaction. If you want proof of how bad of a situation we are really in, look no further. U.S. consumer delinquencies. 3% of all auto loans have transitioned into being over 90 days delinquent. This was third quarter 2025. This is the highest we have seen it in 15 years. 7%. When you get to 10%, the whole thing falls apart. 7% of all credit card debt is at risk of 60 to 90-day delinquency right now, the highest it has been in 14 years. Student loans already at 15%. So this graph, and this is where we really start to cut away the fat. Look back at 2005, right? And then you see the 2007 through 2009 financial crisis right here. And then look at where we're at right now. Student loans up, everything trending up. So you take a trend by taking its last lowest point and drawing a line to its current point. And you can see that the trend on each one of these, especially credit cards, because they force people to buy their groceries on them, is through the roof. So we're just expecting this next big drop to come soon.
Somebody that's
then why are people saying they're anxious about the economy? Why are they saying that?
I don't know that they are saying. I think polls are fake. We have the greatest economy we've ever had. We will have over $20 trillion come into our economy, and it's largely because of my election, but it's also largely because of tariffs.
Now, he's not wrong. There is a lot of money coming into the country, and there's a lot of money that will never make it to your checkbook. It's never going to happen. The rich are not looking at this and saying, you know what? Let's give a little silver to everybody else. Let's just give out a little bit, right? And even those $2,000 checks that were being promised have already been walked back so that they'll just become a tax credit for people who qualify. So even though, yes, we are booming as far as our trend to being a powerful economy, it will never reach you, the people, unless you're in the lottery zone and you are in an industry that really wins from it.
Housing costs are still out of reach. And another thing that your administration is trying to tackle, many Americans, the average age of first-time home buyers are now up to age 40, which is sad for the country you and I grew up in.
I inherited that. Look, you have to understand.
Right, but let me get to the question, though, because your housing director has proposed something that has enraged your MAGA friends, which is this 50-year...
Do you see kind of the shift by Fox News now being a little bit anti-Trump? Let's step back from that and let's realize that that's being done on purpose. Why is it that CNN is being applauded right now as being pro-Republican and pro-Trump, and Fox News is starting to be degraded as a right-leaning Republican news source? Why do you think they're confusing those? It's not an accident. It's a social engineering dichotomy. What they're doing is using proven artificial intelligence gathered data sets that show if they make you confused about who to watch, what you believe, they can further divide you.
Mortgage idea. So a significant MAGA backlash, calling it a giveaway to the banks and simply prolonging the time it would take for Americans to own a home outright. Is that really a good idea?
It's not even a big deal. I mean, you go from 40 to 50 years, and what it means is 50, you pay something less from 30. That some people had a 40, and then now they have a 50. All it means is you pay less per month. You pay it over a longer period of time.
That's somebody who's out of reach. That's an understanding who he either knows that this is the only chance, because if you take away the American citizen's idea that they're a homeowner, if you take that away, well, then they're going to riot, they're going to protest, they're going to get mad, they're going to stop paying taxes, they're going to completely break apart the social veil that we have set up today. And I think that maybe either Trump knows this and this is kind of a last-ditch effort, or there's such an out of touch with reality between what the bottom 90%, which is me, and it's you. If you're not out there floating $10 million on nothing, you're part of that bottom 90%. So the bottom 90% live in a whole different world than the ivory tower. And everybody up there says, look, we're going to give them bread and circus. We're going to give them some crumbs. We're going to feed them, and they'll be happy. And maybe they just understand that that's really all it takes. Speaking of the United States of America, turning into a country of rioters and looters, this was real footage coming out of looters taking advantage of a situation targeting businesses. This prompted a citywide curfew and the deployment of the Marines. This was downtown Los Angeles being looted. These people coming in masked up, grabbing iPhones, nighttime terror, knocking people down, police unable to act quick enough, smashing windows. Watch it for yourself. Folks, that is just absolutely amazing that we're seeing that kind of thing happen across the United States of America. That's why I work so hard to bring you this information, because I don't want you to not understand just where we're at in this country. You're watching Full Spectrum Survival on YouTube. My name is Brad. I want to thank you for being a part of this family. Please make sure that you are subscribed. Make sure that you share this video with friends and family. And if you see a hype button down there somewhere, please click it. From mine to yours, check back at 2 p.m. this afternoon and stay safe.